Welcome to the International Desk, your global window on today's most important stories. From Washington to Copenhagen and Paris, major developments are shaping global economics, security, and politics. The US Federal Reserve makes its first rate cut of the year, Denmark announces a historic shift in defense policy, and France braces for massive nationwide strikes. Here are the top stories. Starting with US. The United States Federal Reserve has lowered interest rates for the first time this year, citing slower job gains and rising risks to employment. Policymakers cut the benchmark lending rate by 25 basis points, bringing it to a range of 4.0 to 4.25%, and signal 2 additional cuts may follow later this year. Fed Chair Jerome Powell emphasized the central bank's independence from political influence, even as questions arose about the swift appointment of new Fed Governor Stephen Miran, a former Trump administration advisor. Miran was the sole dissenter in the 12-member Federal Open Market Committee, pushing for a sharper 50 basis point reduction. The decision comes as the Fed balances competing pressures, with tariffs driving inflation risks on one hand and a weakening labor market on the other. Growth forecasts for 2025 were revised upward to 1.6%, but unemployment and inflation projections remain unchanged. Turning to Europe, Denmark has announced a significant shift in its defense strategy. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen confirmed on Wednesday that the country will acquire long-range, high-precision weapons for the first time in its history, citing Russia as a long-term threat. Frederiksen said that while no immediate attack is expected, Russia's posture requires Denmark to strengthen its military capabilities. The move follows Denmark's largest arms purchase ever, 58 billion crowns for European-made air defense systems, and a separate 50 billion crown expansion of military spending announced earlier this year. Defense Minister Troels Lund Poulsen said the country plans to invest in missiles and drones, though details remain scarce. Frederiksen described the decision as a paradigm shift in Danish defense policy, reinforcing her government's commitment to countering Moscow's aggression. Meanwhile, in France, tensions are rising ahead of what could be one of the country's largest strike days in years. Trade unions are joining forces in a rare display of unity to pressure the new Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu, to reverse planned budget cuts and address concerns over wages, pensions, and public services. Authorities expect around 800,000 demonstrators to take to the streets on Thursday, with schools, railways, and air transport heavily disrupted. To maintain order, 80,000 police officers will be deployed nationwide. This wave of unrest marks the biggest day of action since 2023, when millions protested against President Emmanuel Macron's decision to raise the retirement age to 64. Lecornu, who replaced François Bayrou after a no-confidence vote earlier this month, is under intense scrutiny. Though he has pledged a profound break with past politics, many unions and opposition parties remain unconvinced. The socialists are calling for higher taxes on the wealthy and relief for struggling households, while Marine Le Pen's far-right National Rally has warned Lecornu that continuing Macron's pro-business policies will lead to his downfall. France faces mounting fiscal challenges, with a budget deficit nearly double the EU ceiling and national debt standing at 114% of GDP. In summary, the day's developments highlight a world grappling with economic and security pressures. From Washington's cautious rate cuts to Copenhagen's historic defense overhaul to Paris's looming political showdown. That's all for now. Stay tuned for further updates.